Hello and welcome to Athena's Creations. I'm Athena Turk, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2017. And I've got a really fun and new Matchbox treat holder to share with you. Super fun, super easy to make. I'm going to share all the directions, of course, as we go along. And I also have a new fun fold called the Double Z Gatefold, and it too is an amazing new fold and super easy. And I will, of course, share all the measurements with you on that one as well. So thank you for joining me either live in Athena's Creations on Facebook or later on the YouTube Athena's Creations 2017. Let's go ahead and get started, and give me a moment as I transition our camera down so that you can see the project for this evening using Storybook Friends. And we're also going to be using one of my favorite stamp sets, which I do believe is now on the last chance list. So be sure and snap that up if you don't have it already. It's called Courage and Faith. We're going to use that one on our fun fold today. Hopefully you can see, and I've adjusted that. You're seeing all this stuff over here, and I want you to see this. One of these days, I'm going to get this fixed, and it's gonna surprise all of us. Okay, well, if I do that, all right. Sorry about the mishap here. I think what I'm going to try to do is bring the bottom one down just a little bit. So I've been stamping since well, man, probably back in 2005. I started out actually as a scrapbooker, and then my neighbor Lily, now my upline, invited me to a Stampin' Up! Card party, and it was, at the time, it was amazing. It was a Stamp-A-Stack, and I had never stamped before. Although I had been into crafting and all the things that are involved with that, but I had never made a card. And so the concept of a simple card was just lost on me. I think I ended up making 2 cards total, but I was hooked. What can I say? Once you start, you get hooked very easily. So I'm going to first share with you the fun match fold, and then the Double Z Gatefold. And like I was mentioning earlier, this is the Courage and Faith stamp set. I think it's been around a couple of years. It's got scripture verses. It's one of my all-time favorites. Thanks to $1 Million Sales Achiever, Natalie Travis. She designed this stamp set, and I'm hoping we will see more stamps coming out with similar designs and words, because I love those. Those are really pretty special. Timeless stamp sets for me. Now on the Storybook Friends, this is one of our, one of our, I guess, Easter kind of stamp bundles, sweets. This one is Storybook Friends. It's got Easter greetings, happy spring, all kinds of fun little stamps, and it's part of a suite, and I ended up getting the bundle, and, well, I ended up getting it all. But what can I say? I love everything about Stampin' Up! I love all the coordination. You know, some of those box stores, they're kind of going under. They're just, you know, it's hard to predict what people are going to fall in love with. But with Stampin' Up!, you're going to find something that you're going to fall in love with, guaranteed, okay? Whether it's online exclusives or the catalogs, it is a lot of fun. There's tons that are offered, lots of color assortments, and everything coordinates, which is beautiful. And if you're a scrapbooker, they have a scrapbook line, which I'm really excited about. And honestly, I don't have a lot of time to do more than just craft cards at the moment, but eventually I would like to get some of my older pictures out and start scrapbooking them. So stay tuned for more about that. This is From Me to You. This is using one of my favorite sets of dies, the Stylish Shapes. And this is a little bunny Ghirardelli chocolate that you can get at any of your grocery stores about now for Easter. And this is actually a DSP that we're going to be using. And then for the little hole at the bottom, we're going to use something new called the Hole Punch Assortment. And they come in an assortment of 3. And we're going to use this little hole punch, which is 1/3 of an inch. Is that right? No, an 1/8, excuse me. It's hard to read those tiny, tiny numbers. But then we've got 3 in this pack. And it's the Hole Punch Assortment. And this is part of an online exclusive. One of the nice new features when you look online is if you see a stamp punch or a punch, or you see a stamp set, if you scroll down a little bit, it'll show what, oh, we're going to use this one. I better get back out. It'll show you if this is part of a bundle or if it's part of a suite. In other words, if there's some coordinating product, it's available so that you won't miss out on it if maybe you intended to get the whole shebang and maybe didn't realize you were just, you know, had a punch in your cart and maybe you wanted the whole thing. So that is super nice and helpful. I love that. And as I said, all the colors coordinate with each other. It's not like when you go to one box store, you buy a red paper, you go to the next box store and you buy the ink, you come home and the 2 reds are 2 different colors. Stamp It Up has all of that covered. One-stop shop, guarantee you. Now, as with a lot of my projects lately, about the past year or so, I've been making what's called templates. That way, if I decide to come up with a fun idea for a treat, I'll have this to refer to later with the measurements already written out for me. And I'm trying to work smarter, not harder these days. And so this really helps me to accomplish that. So the designer series paper for this project is 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. And this matchbook treat holder, I don't even know if that's exactly what it's called, but that's what I'm calling it. This piece of either cardstock of color of your choice is 8 1/4 by 2 3/4. And I use my handy ruler to figure out what that measurement 2 3/4. I think those are pretty standard measurements, but the parentheses or 3 inches. So if you wanted more of the designer paper to cover, then instead of 2 3/4, you can make it 3 inches. So this is 2 3/4. You can make it just a little bit bigger, depending on what treat you wanted to put on the inside. So some of these measurements you can kind of fiddle with, make them a little bit bigger if you wanted. This is the Hole Punch Assortment, and this is the SKU number 165409. It's an online exclusive, available now, I believe. I probably should have checked on that earlier. And the score measurements for the 8 1/4, and that's important. So when you have 8 1/4 by 2 3/4, you're going to score on the 8 1/4 side at 3 1/2 inches, 4 inches, and 7 3/4 inch. So let's go ahead. And I went ahead and pre-stamped just to save a little bit of time, because I'm not real, what do you call it? Video, computer savvy to, or have somebody to help me do that, to go through and edit out some of the moments of just chitter chatter, I guess. All right. So we've got this fold right here at the top. We've got this fold right down here. And I'm using the thick cardstock. We have some available. I think it's currently or temporarily unavailable. But I do like to use the thick white cardstock for any of my 3D projects. And then here's our beautiful designer paper that's part of this suite. This one's super simple. I think before I assemble it, I do want to go ahead and put my little hole in there because it's like a matchbox. And I can't really see it, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Like right, that's about the middle, approximately. And then now, I'm going to bring in the open weave trim gold. And this can be just a tiny bit tricky. And I just realized my take your pick tool, I may need that, and I don't have it on me right now. So I'm going to, of course, now that I'm on camera, this doesn't want to work. This is where if I knew how to edit, I could just fast forward this part. My take your pick tool, what did I do with that? That would be super helpful in getting this nice mesh trim in there. There we go. All right, got it. So just a little bit, and I'm gonna make 2 knots basically at the bottom. It's partly for decoration and then partly to kind of hold it together. Hopefully you can't hear that. That's my puppy. He's over there snoring. He's the sweetest little dude. He keeps me company when I craft. All right, so we're putting that on there. So it's a little bit of a decoration, and then when we finish decorating, we can just pop that on there. Now, of course, you want to do all of your stamping and adhering everything all before you put your candy in the middle. And then I'm going to center this as close as I can. This one's Easter greetings, and we're going to pop that one up on dimensionals. There we go. And then I had these already die cut out. And I think I'm going to have this one on there. So let's go ahead and put some dimensionals on this one. Cute little bunnies. Just put her right there. And then we're going to put our Easter greetings right there. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a glue dot to put on the back. And it's going to hold it in place. Just like that. This is the cutest little treat that you can make for the mail person. You could get this to a coworker. You can use these in craft fairs, and this is super easy. So show us those designs if you come up with something, because I want to see those designs. Now let's go ahead and move on to our next project, and that is this double Z gatefold. Love this new design. The layering on the front, this white piece is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Then the cardstock layer right here is 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. I'll hold it still so you can take a screenshot if you'd like. And then this cardstock DSP is 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need this cardstock base, 2 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, because the one's going to go on the back and one's going to go on the front. Then you have this side panel, and if you decide to layer it, this DSP is 4 1/2 by 1. The next layer is 4 3/4 by 1 1/4. And then that third layer piece is 5 by 1 1/2. You'll see with my card that you don't have to do all of those layers, but that's the measurement if you would like to. And then our card base, this might be the best one to do a screenshot. The base is, or the inside is 11 by 5 1/4. And on the 11-inch side, you're going to score it at 1 3/4 and 3 1/2. Rotate and repeat on the other side. Okay, double Z gatefold, and here is my card. And with this one, I'm using Thankful Garden, a new online exclusive. And of course, I got the Wink of Stella out and that ombre shimmer paper that I stamp on and die cut out. And then my favorite Courage and Faith stamp set. I didn't do any layers. I just stamped that stamp right there. Left it open. So this could actually be a thinking of you. It does say thankful for you, friend. So thankful for friends, and you can, lots of room to write on it. And I went ahead and pre-cut, pre-scored everything. Double Z gatefold. I love fun folds, and I love to share all the fun folds with all of you. Now I did ahead of time to save some time. I went ahead and stamped on the ombre paper and die cut it out already. The trick to this one is when you stamp it, you need to let the ink soak into the paper. In fact, that's what I did here. I should probably just share that with you so you can see exactly how easy that is. I don't know that I kept it on a block, but let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. I've been working on lots of different projects, but let me go ahead and just stamp it so you can see. I mean, I think I've shared this before in another video, but in case this is your first time, I want you to see just how easy this is. And the one thing I do want to recommend is once you've stamped it, you want to give it some time to dry because otherwise you'll get all over your fingers. I use Memento ink. And you just want to make sure that that stamp is getting plenty of ink. And then when you go to stamp it, you want to press firmly and let that ink soak into the Glimmer ombre paper, which is also part of the online exclusives. And then the trick is then to just let it dry. Because if you touch it now, it'll smear and get all over your fingers. But I do love that. That ombre paper is amazing. And then, of course, we've got some beautiful ribbon. This is the sheer ribbon, silver and white. And here's our layering pieces. All these gorgeous papers from the Thankful Garden Suite. So this white piece, let's go over those measurements one more time. I write them down because I never remember. It's this basic white here. It's 11 inches by 5 1/4. And on one side, you're going to score it at 1 3/4 and then 3 1/2. Then you're going to turn it to this other side and score the same for that piece. And this, oh, I've got 2 here. I bet I'm going to make another beautiful card. Or maybe we'll do that at our next workshop. That would be good. You just want to make sure you burnish all the score lines. 11 by 5 1/4. Nice. All right. Now the way this is going to work is it's going to fold in like that. So let's go ahead and get all those burnished. There we go. Love the bone folder. Okay. It's really kind of a simple fold if you think about it. All right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and adhere this to the back of Garden Green. Or not the back, but this is the back part of the card. It's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And you just want to find the sweet spot of centering this one. And what I like to do is hold down one side and then lift it up and then apply my adhesive. That's just the easiest for me. And of course, the green liquid glue is great because you have a couple of seconds wiggle room if you don't have it just right. If you use your Stampin' Seal, hope and pray it is centered. Okay, so that's the back piece. Now, next, we're only going to use one, so I don't know why I have two of these. Like I said, I think I was going to make another card. So we're going to go ahead and layer this one with the Designer Series paper. And it is gorgeous, gorgeous paper. Either direction's fine. There's really no right or wrong on that one. Again, find the sweet spot of centering it, holding down one side, and I'm going to lift it up to apply that adhesive. I like the back side, but with this paper, my favorite is this gorgeous color here. And you could make a card just like this with just a sentiment in the middle and it would be perfect. Let's go ahead and adhere this one. As you can see, only the one side of the card's going to be adhered. And then you're basically want to line that up. And again, lift it up once I have it lined up, and it's only going to be adhesive on that tiny little panel there. Okay. There we go. Just this one side. See how easy this card's coming together? I probably should have stamped this one first, because if I mess up, I guess I'll have to do a different panel, but that's okay. Let's see, what did I do with that stamp? Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Let me grab that real quick. It's probably, oh yeah, it's right here, right in front of me. All right, there we go. All right. But that's okay. If I mess up, there's always a fix, right? You just want to make sure you have plenty of ink. This is red rubber, so I won't be able to see exactly where, but hopefully it lines up. Then wherever you decide to place your stamp, just commit to it and let that ink soak in. Yay! It's a little off. It's not exactly perfect, but that's okay. It's a handmade card. Beautiful. So next we're going to stamp this layering piece, okay? Before we adhere anything else, we're going to stamp. And then this piece is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. The layering cardstock is 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. And for this one, we're going to use the Fresh Freesia, which is the same color as the cardstock and the ombre. And then this part's important. Just have a piece of paper on the side. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of ink because this is going to be light. And I'm going to stamp off. And then I'm going to stamp on my project so that you can see a little bit there. Oh no, that does not look right. We're going to turn that over. Reason number one why you definitely want to stamp first. Here we go. Just like that. And oh, there's always a fix. So if you mess up, like that one was too light, that one's better. All right, next, we're going to bring in the stamp that says, "Thankful for you, friend," which is all part of the Thankful Garden bundle. love the photopolymer stamps. Those are my favorite. And the two tonight, these are Athena Originals. I love that when I can say that. The folds, I'm sure, have been around for ages, but it's new to me, so thankful for you, friend. I love the lighter color and then the greeting right there. Something about that, it's beautiful to me. I absolutely love it. Okay. So now that we've done, we've got one more stamping. So part of that stamp is this tiny little stamp here that we're going to use Gorgeous Grape. And we're just going to put a couple of places on here. One more right there. Isn't that gorgeous? I wasn't sure about this stamp set until I started playing with it, and it's really gorgeous. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and find that sweet spot and apply our adhesive. The sweet spot is centered. There we go. And then before we add this one to that page or that part of the card, we just want to bring, and this is my way of kind of cheating, I guess, if you will. Some people can roll the ribbon around and tie a beautiful bow, but I like to do it the easier way for me. And so I'm going to put this strip of the bow, or ribbon rather, and it's just that tiny little strip. Make sure that's all right. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to add this one to the center here. I don't have my computer on tonight, so I can't see who's watching live, but I do appreciate it. And those of you that can watch it on the replay, I do appreciate that too, and would love to see what you guys come up with. All right, so one thing you can do with the wings is you can kind of get those wings out there like that using your bone folder. And then for me, the easiest adhesive for the butterfly is glue dots, like 2. Oops, sticking my finger. There we go. And then this one's just going to find a nice little spot on the card, like right there. Now it will be flat when you mail it out, but that's okay. And so the rest of this is just tying a ribbon using the rabbit ears technique. 2 rabbit ears, you bring the one under there and bring it through, and then you just adjust it until you get the bow that you want. Okay, and then we're going to use our ribbon scissors and trim it. And again, we're going to use a glue dot. Just like that. And so now we've got this really pretty bow on this card. And I sort of cheated, but that's okay. And then, of course, we want to make sure this is going to fit in an envelope. So we're going to trim it just a little bit more to make sure that it's going to all fit. Okay. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Proverbs 3 and 5. Thankful for you, friend. You certainly could stamp some more if you wanted. You could even put a layering piece here if you wanted to really show off that designer paper. But this is a really cool double Z fold card that I couldn't wait to share with y'all. And I'm working on the March Paper Pumpkin, the beautiful honey bees and all that goes with that. And I've got so many other fun projects that I'm working on that I want to share soon as well. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to share next week, but just know it's going to be really, really cool. I hope you enjoyed these projects and hope to see what you guys make from them. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next week. Happy stamping!